The city of Seoul was buzzing again, and this time it wasn't because of a concert or a comeback rumor. Fans all over social media exploded when whispers began circulating that Jungkook from BTS had finally taken a bold, emotional step, something no one expected. For months, the connection between Jungkook and BLACKPINK's Lisa had been a whirlwind of speculation, mystery, and silent glances caught by cameras. But this time, it wasn't about a stage, a luxury car sighting, or a backstage interaction. This time, it was deeply personal. Reports started to spread that Jungkook had actually met and talked with Lisa's parents while they were in Seoul, and what he said during that private meeting left everyone shocked, emotional, and full of questions. What really happened that night? Let's break it down from the moment Lisa returned to Seoul after finishing her overseas commitments. Something about her energy changed. Fans noticed her softer smiles, more relaxed presence, and that spark that many had missed since her intense global tour schedule. And then came the viral moment, Jungkook being spotted leaving a quiet upscale restaurant in Gangnam, just minutes before Lisa and her parents were seen exiting the same place. No cameras were allowed inside, but witnesses described the atmosphere as calm, private, and full of emotion. For the first time, it wasn't about fame or music. It was about feelings, respect, and something that could be far deeper than friendship. Jungkook reportedly sat with Lisa's parents for over an hour, speaking openly, politely, and sincerely about his admiration for their daughter. And that simple act turned into one of the most talked about events among ARMYs and Blinks alike. Imagine that scene for a second. The golden magne of BTS, who spent years hiding behind the spotlight, sitting face-to-face with Lisa's family in Seoul. No stylists, no management, just real people talking about something real. Sources close to both sides mentioned that Jungkook wanted to express his respect for Lisa not just as an artist, but as a person who inspired him through her strength, work ethic, and independence. He reportedly told her parents that Lisa had been a source of motivation for him, especially during times when he felt exhausted by fame. It wasn't a confession of love. It wasn't drama. It was a rare glimpse of sincerity in an industry where everything is scripted and controlled. But of course, fans couldn't help but speculate. Was this a sign of something deeper? As fans online debated, clips and edited videos spread like wildfire. TikTok, X, and YouTube flooded with theories, fan edits, and slow-motion captures of their old moments, from award shows to behind-the-scenes clips where their eyes seemed to meet for a second too long. The fandoms went crazy. Blinks defended Lisa's privacy, ARMYs admired Jungkook's maturity, and everyone else just wanted to know, what's next? But inside sources say that after that night, Jungkook's attitude subtly changed. He became more grounded, more focused, and even started mentioning in casual interviews how important honest communication was in his life lately. Fans connected the dots immediately. I am the middle of all this chaos. Lisa stayed quiet. No public statement, no denial, no confirmation, just her usual calm confidence. She continued with her work schedule, appearing at a fashion event in Seoul with her signature poise. But people who were there said her energy felt different, lighter, more peaceful, almost as if a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. Could it be that her family's meeting with Jungkook brought her a sense of closure or a new beginning? Nobody knows for sure, but one thing is certain. Something shifted between them, and here's where things get even more interesting. Later that week, Jungkook was seen leaving HYB's building wearing a simple black hoodie and cap, avoiding the crowd as usual. But fans who caught a glimpse said he looked unusually happy, smiling, even humming to himself as he walked to his car. It sparked another wave of discussions online. People started saying this was the look of a man who had finally said what he needed to say. It wasn't about publicity. It wasn't about media. It was about being real in a world where real is rare. That's what made fans fall even deeper into the mystery. Now, before we jump to conclusions, let's be clear. Neither Jungkook nor Lisa has confirmed anything officially. And that's exactly what keeps fans glued to every detail. The beauty of this story is not just in what might be happening, but in how much respect and maturity both have shown despite the noise. They've never used their bond for attention. They've never faked moments. And that's why when something this intimate surfaces, it feels different. almost too real for the entertainment world. Because maybe, just maybe, behind all the fame, there are two people who simply understand each other. Halfway through this story, ask yourself, what would you do if you were in their place? Would you take that step and meet the parents, risking the entire world's attention just to be honest about your feelings? That's the courage Jungkook showed that night. It's a reminder that even the biggest stars crave authenticity and connection. Fans started commenting things like, "This is what true respect looks like. He's such a gentleman." And Lisa deserves someone who treats her family like that. Those comments flooded social media within hours. It was no longer a rumor. It became a moment of inspiration, a story of sincerity that crossed fandom lines. The most touching part? A close friend of Lisa reportedly said her parents were deeply moved by Jungkook's words and described him as humble and warm-hearted. They appreciated how he spoke not like a superstar, but like a genuine person who valued their daughter's happiness above all. That statement alone sent fans into emotional overdrive. Because when you think about it, it's not every day that two of the most famous idols in the world share something so human and simple. That's what made this story hit so hard. As time passed, both continued their schedules separately, but fans noticed small details, matching accessories, subtle song lyrics, and shared themes in their content that seemed to reflect connection. Coincidence or message? That's the question everyone keeps asking. And that's exactly what keeps audiences coming back, replaying every frame, every interview, searching for clues. This ongoing mystery became one of the most engaging narratives in K-pop fandom history. So, what really happened that night in Seoul? Maybe it was a heartfelt talk that changed everything. Maybe it was a respectful meeting that closed one chapter and opened another. But one thing's for sure, that night, Jungkook showed the world what real class looks like. And Lisa, with her quiet grace, reminded everyone that silence can sometimes speak louder than any public statement. It's a story that goes beyond fandoms, beyond ships. It's about humanity, connection, and courage. And if you've made it this far, you probably feel it too, that sense of warmth, curiosity, and admiration for two people brave enough to face truth in a world that watches their every move. So what's next? That's the question every fan is asking right now. Maybe the next chapter is already being written behind the scenes. Maybe the next song, the next look, the next public moment will reveal more. But until then, this story remains one of the most talked about and heartfelt moments in the K-pop universe. Because it reminds us that behind every stage light, behind every performance, there are real hearts beating, real emotions growing, and real people trying to navigate love and respect in a spotlight that never turns off. So don't click away yet. Hit that like button, stay tuned, and keep watching, because the story of Jungkook and Lisa in Seoul might just be far from over.